You know, when you think about ranching, many folks have images of cowboys riding through mountains or across the Great Plains to gather cattle. But ranching is actually conducted in many different types of terrain from coast to coast, including the marshes along the Gulf Coast. The folks at Gray Ranch in Louisiana show you Southern-style ranching in this week's Ranch Horse segment.
That'll be enough for this load, Ramey. Let's take them across. Scotty, would you go across with Ramey and help him unload the saddles on the other side, please?
Deep in the bayous, or the bayous as the locals call them, Kent Ledoux and his hands prepare for a little swim. The Gray Ranch, located along the coast of Louisiana, has operated in these parts for a long time.
We're located south of Vinton, Louisiana, a community we call Ged. Our founding father of this ranch, name was John Gettings Gray. Oil was discovered here at the turn of the century, and immediately a town sprung up out here, and everyone called it Ged.
That was in 1861. Today, the ranch is still in the family. Ged's granddaughter, Matilda Gray Stream, and her son, Harold Spook Stream, still own the historical 30,000-acre ranch. Ranch manager Kent Ledoux is in charge of the Gray's American Quarter Horse and cow-calf businesses.
The ranch is predominantly a cow-calf operation, Brahman crossbred cattle, of course, because of the locale. We also raise quarter horses.
And it's that locale that makes this ranch so interesting. Bordered on the west by the Sabine River, the north by Interstate 10, and the south by the Gulf of Mexico, water is a constant.
There is no rock whatsoever here. The ground is very soft and mushy when wet. However, it can become very hard during a drought. But the coastal marshes, the turf is actually floating. So it's very boggy. The horse has to have a big heart, you know, and be pretty tough to navigate that kind of stuff and carry a cowboy with him.
American quarter horses get their fill of water here at the Gray. If it's not a spring shower that keeps them moist, it's getting them across the intercoastal waterway to work cattle in the Gray's winter pasture.
At this point here, we're probably 20, 25 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. We keep a herd of cattle south of this intercoastal canal. The only way for us to get our horses and equipment over there to manage the cattle or to swim our horses at this intercoastal canal.
Rotating their pastures for the best use of the lush and plentiful Bermuda grasses, Gray cattle winter on the coast in the marshes. As a result, the best way to work the cattle on the other side of the ranch is for everyone to go swimming.
That was a ship channel that was dug during the 1930s. It was dug by the Corps of Engineers in order for the vessels, seagoing vessels, to get out of the Gulf during bad weather. It dissected the ranch. So in order to get from one herd to the next, or one part of the ranch to the other, we have to swim our horses across. It was an accepted practice when I came here, and when you hire on, you just jump in and do what you're told to do. And it's kind of unique, but it's a tradition that we've carried on.
Barge traffic and strong currents make for challenges most American quarter horses don't face every day. For those reasons, boats operate nearby, looking out for the safety of the horses. Once they're across, men and supplies are ferried to the other side. Rumor has it that years ago, cowboys swam across with the horses as well. That hasn't happened in some time, but Donnie Moore, who's been at the Gray for the past 20-plus years, has been in before.
Well, mostly clowning around. There was a couple of us swim across, and one old boy kind of caught a cramp. I had to go back and help him.
Once on the coast, everyone heads into the marsh. Getting to the herd takes time, but the scenery makes it go by easier. The marsh is not so much land, but grass and water with a little dirt for appearances. The cattle can get bogged down or even fall through the mud, and the Gray's ranch horses come to the rescue.
We like the quarter horses because of their athletic ability. we have enough speed to go head a cow, but yet have the athletic ability to stop and turn with her. I like the trainable minds. I like the dispositions of the quarter horse. Conformationally, they suit me, and I really do like the bone and the structure that we're breeding into our horses.
The ranch's working horses are almost all homegrown, offspring of the mares and stallions owned by the Gray. The bloodlines include those of Colonel Freckles, Doc Olina, Doc Tari, and right this minute.
This horse has been trained and shown in cutting and reining, and we brought him home and started roping on him. He's also done a very limited showing in amateur roping, and my son has done quite well on him with USTRC roping. I like his mind. Lots of cow, very good disposition, very trainable, very trainable. And personally, I like his size. I like a horse that's not too large, and of course not too small. Many of the horses that you saw this morning are sired by him. He produces a horse with plenty of bone, real athletes.
The ranch also runs hunting leases for waterfowl, alligator, and deer. Kent, with his wife Becky, have been at the Gray Ranch for the past 32 years. Both feel that they're blessed, personally and professionally, and they wouldn't have it any other way.
It's so unique. When you get off the beaten path and drive back here and see the beauty of this place, the freshness, it's a wonderful creation.
As we've already seen, they do things a little differently on the Gray Ranch in Louisiana. In this extreme ranching segment, we'll show you how their unique location has given them an opportunity to be involved in more than just American quarter horses and cattle.
What we got here, we're releasing alligators today that are about approximately a year old.
Kent Ledoux would tell you that his job is never boring. As the manager of the Gray Ranch near Vinton, Louisiana, he oversees more than just horses and cattle. Each year, working with the state of Louisiana, Kent and his crew help collect, raise, and release hundreds of alligators back into the marsh ponds and lakes that cover this 30,000-acre ranch. David Richard also works on the Gray Ranch. As the corporation's land manager, he's responsible for the alligator program on the Gray.
We do lots of alligators on the stream lands and also on other corporate lands. It is a multi-million-dollar business in Louisiana. We are collecting about 300,000 eggs per year. We're harvesting about 30,000 wild hides per year. Has about a $50 million impact on the state of Louisiana. And it is a flagship conservation practice. It's being used in crocodilian management around the world. It actually shows the landowner income from keeping his land in a productive fashion. And so it's a wonderful resource for the land and for the landowner. And when you buy an alligator wallet or an alligator purse or an alligator jacket, what you're actually doing is promoting conservation in Louisiana.
The Streams, owners of the Gray Ranch, have been involved in conservation efforts since they've owned the land, and the alligator program is just another example of their commitment to taking care of what they have.
As you can see, they're born with a pretty salty disposition, and they fail to see the humor in anything I'm doing today.
Because of the huge numbers of alligators in this part of the country,
They're everywhere you see water, we have alligators here. We have huge population. We have lots more alligators than we have people and cattle.
the Gray is also given permission to organize alligator hunts on the ranch based on the gator population.
Now, the Stream family, we harvest about 400 animals per year in the wild harvest, and we harvest about 10,000 eggs per year off this. They go into the ranching business. Now, in the ranching business, we collect the eggs. They go into an incubator. They're hatched. We sell them to a rancher. The rancher raises them up to approximately between 42 and 48 inches long. They're harvested. Huge numbers of that go to the watch band trade. to the small goods and watch band trade. We have sold tens of thousands of small alligators to different manufacturers of watch bands, which doesn't sound, which sounds like a small trade. At one time, we have shipped as many as 100,000 skins for watch bands.
It's just another way that the gray turns this coastal environment into a ranching advantage.
The alligator hunting season is restricted to the month of September. They use a large fishhook type device, and the ranch is limited to about 400 hunting stamps per year.